Hi there. Today is Sunday, July 5th, 2020, and today's daily word is comfort. Experiences that move me out of my comfort zone are part of my life. The first day at a new school, starting or leaving a job, a new phase in a relationship, retiring from a career, the passing of a loved one. Any change can invoke discomfort, even grief. I grieve when I think of change as loss of security, loss of my life and my community, or loss of love. The Christ, the divine presence of life, love, and wisdom within me is my constant source of comfort throughout all of life's changes. I find assurances that, although its physical expressions may change, life can never end. I know oneness and love with all who have been dear to me, recognizing my divine nature. I know that there is no loss, change, or circumstances that can limit me, and I am comforted. You will increase my honor and comfort me once again. Psalms 71:21. With the affirmation, Christ in me is my comfort. Christ in me is my comfort. So let us just pause a brief moment to reflect that Christ is my comfort. So in these times of change and loss, we find comfort in knowing that the Christ presence is active in our life, comforting me. For change is inevitable, and so we seek out the love and life of God, which resides within us, comforting us. In a lot of ways, virtually hugging us. So we allow this compassion of the Christ within to grab hold of us. And it does bring comfort. So we allow ourselves to just be in the presence of God. So we let go and we let God. We let God comfort us. So we breathe in the compassion and love of God into our open heart. We put aside the busyness of the humanness of us, and we take on the godliness of us. And we just breathe. We breathe. So let us go into the silence, giving ourselves the comfort that our heart needs. So ever so gently bring us back to this time of now and know that we've been comforted. And we are grateful for knowing that at any time we can seek out the love, compassion, and the comfort of God. And so it is. Amen. Amen. So today is our final of 6 weeks of series of Lessons in Truth by Emily Cady. And so in these two last chapters, it is the spiritual gifts and unity of the Spirit are the titles of these two chapters. And so she tells us some very interesting things about gifts. And one, every one of us has at least two gifts. And one is the gift of knowing the presence of God in our lives. Do we know that? Intellectually, we do. But on an emotional level and on a spiritual level, do you know you have the gift of God within you? And that gift brings us the comfort we talked about today. It brings us the peace. It brings us life, wisdom, love. That at any time we can tap in to the resources of God. This is a gift. Not many people know this. That's why it's such an important gift that when we become aware of this gift, it changes everything within us. That gift is the power that provides us with unlimited resources with God. Truly, the impossible seems possible because now we have a partnership with God who has unlimited resources, that no walls divide us between us and God, you and God. For we are all connected with that source of God. And you see, when we know this gift, it doesn't make us better than anybody else. It doesn't make us stronger. It makes us more aware. And from that awareness, we have more opportunities to succeed, to be healthier, to be more prosperous, because we're tapping into this resource that we call God, that Christ within us, where unlimited bounds reside. You see, for those of us, those people who haven't found that spiritual gift yet, they're limited by the senses. They're limited by what they can see, feel, touch, and smell, but we're not. You see, they're simply not there yet. Doesn't make us better. It just makes us on a different plane of awareness, a different understanding of our consciousness. But we still must broaden our view of this gift that we have with God. We must make use of this gift because we don't want the gift to sit idly. We want the gift to be used and empowered in our minds. We want it to be a connection, a partnership, a relationship that you have with God. See, this spiritual gift is all we will ever need because the spiritual gift removes fear, removes worry, removes the discomfort of our everyday living. We may still feel discomfort, but when we rely on that gift of God, the discomfort is dissipated and we are reconnected with God. Much like today's daily word, comfort and the loss. Loss is part of our human experience. So we can feel that loss, acknowledge it, but we don't have to stay there. For loss is the beginning of a change for us. And we can be comforted by knowing that we can change as the need arises. You see, change is inevitable. Change is it's in the forefront of our spiritual movement right now. We're right in the middle of mission-centric. And so this mission-centric notion of being transformed by what we know. You see, when we live the Christ light and life, our body is transformed. Our mind is transformed. And we want that for others. We want others to get this gift. But we cannot give it to them. We can just express it within ourselves so that they want what we have in their way. The other gift that we have, which is very powerful as well, is the gift of the gift. Each one of us has a unique gift that we are imparted with in this human experience. And it is our job to find that gift. And if you already know your gift, then it is up to us to use that gift to further the Christ-based teachings for others by you expressing that gift in an outer way. If you have that gift, make good use of that gift. And for some of us, sometimes we've received a gift that now no longer seems to be applicable to our lives, that we've grown out of it, or it is no longer the gift that we can express. If you are one of those individuals, don't fear. Go within to God and discover your other gift. Because where one gift dissipates and is no longer valid, another one is being brought forth for you to express. You see, only Katie reminds us that each of us has this gift, and it is our job to express it for the sole purpose of sharing it with others. If your gift is gardening and you grow beautiful herbs, wouldn't that be a wonderful gift to share that with others? Give your gift away. Flourish somebody else's kitchen with your wonderful herbs. Maybe you have the gift of mobility. You're able to move around and get around. Maybe you're strong enough that you can help others do these little things around the house that maybe they can't do for themselves. Are you a good cook? Maybe you flourish in the kitchen. Wouldn't it be nice if you shared that gift with others and you showed them the quality of food that can be purchased and where you can get it right in your local community, all the many outlets that there are. Each of us has a gift. Maybe you have the gift of seeing. Maybe you have the gift of hearing. Maybe you have the gift of knowing. That still small voice within you guides you. So we're in this state of not being able to do all the many things that we're used to and we're accustomed to, such as our spiritual building. For intellectually, we know that church is not about the building. Our spiritual community is not about the building. And so how do we come together as a community to share our gifts? It's a question. It's a question that will be answered in due time. But as we explore this system of virtuality, we send each other hugs. It's not the same as being in each other's presence where we get to feel the physical connection. But things have changed, haven't they? We're no longer in a society where that physical connection is justified or welcomed. More than likely, we're being turned down because of the fear-based. So how do we as a spiritual community evolve into this? How do we get this message of God that is so much alive in each of us? How do we get this message out so that others can be transformed as we've been transformed with this truth? How do we do that? So these are questions that each of us have to bring to mind and find the answers within. What is your contribution to this spiritual community so that we can further enhance transforming lives? Not only ours, yours, but others. How do we expand this knowingness, this spiritual gift within us? Because unity of the Spirit is about sharing our gifts, being part of that expression. How do we do that? So I invite you to get still about it. What is your gift to help us further transform the lives within and without? How do we move this message? I know I've got a couple of ideas and I'm going to pursue them and see if they're viable. And if they're not viable, I know that God has got something else planned. So I'm going to continue to search those answers out to find it, because each of us have something to contribute to that avenue. And how do we bring ourselves together as a community once again, strong, vibrant, and yet virtually? Maybe you're someone who wants to listen to these talks, but your computer's acting up. You can't hear the audio as well. I invite you to call our office and express that concern, because we'll find someone that can fix that for you so that you're not shut out from this experience. You see, change is one of the hardest things we'll ever get to do. Because of our old way, it doesn't work anymore. We must embrace a new way to communicate, a new way to express ourselves. And I know some of you are shaking your heads going, it ain't me. It ain't me, Lord. Maybe it is. Maybe it is. Maybe there's something within you that you could be part of this expression. Because we cannot and will not stand by and do nothing. It is the death of us. It's very much like the seed must be put into the ground before it can sprout up. It appears dead, and it will die off if it doesn't get planted. You've got ideas. Let's plant some of those ideas. Let's see their viability. Let's see if there's a way we can bring the fruit to them. Because although we're all individual branches, we are all of the same tree. The tree. So you're a little part of a branch or a twig, but you're all part of this expression that we choose to call God. We express it through all that we do. And I know it's tough. I know it's hard to stay above the line when there's so much going on that causes us to judge others. But I ask you to judge less often. Everybody really is doing the very best they can. You're doing the very best you can. We're not better than anybody else. We're just on a spiritual journey, and they will have their experience journey all in good time, in their connection with God. So I stand with you in that let's change together. Let's explore some avenues, some ways to bring our message out to the masses, beyond the borders that we're used to, beyond the neighborhoods, but more. We reach out and express ourselves in ways we never thought possible, and maybe in ways that we don't even know yet. But you can find that way for you to share within our spiritual community. I am open and receptive to your suggestions and your ideas of how you can express your spiritual truth through this venue, through this avenue. All suggestions are open. Let's take a look at them. They're not all going to fly, but we have to start somewhere. I got a couple. I suspect you got a couple. Let's let go of programs and systems that no longer serve, where it just depletes our energy. Let's move our energy up into a field that serves more than we ever thought possible. Let's be the trendsetter, the way shower, because together we can do this, and nothing is impossible with God. I know this to be our truth, for spiritual gifts are everywhere. Let's see what you got. This ministry is totally supported on free will offerings, so I certainly invite you to send your gifts to our mailing address or to sign up for Tidely, whether it's a one-time gift or a reoccurring gift. All gifts are welcome. So thank you for joining me today. God bless, and we'll see you next time. Amen.